What we want to do, what is our vision, is a consistent story of a virtual city we call Demopolis, where each student has its own city. So not separate lectures, which are not linked to each other, but one city, one virtual city for each student on its own computer and working independently on the progress of the city. In our teaching, the subjects are fully integrated by the means of the computer system. They are linked to each other. The whole program is a case of one city. And grades, of course, are now also interlinked. In a normal environment, you could survive your procurement lectures without the slightest knowledge of budgeting. Here, and you can leave university and become a public servant, no problem. But here, if you didn't do your budgeting in your own virtual city, then when you start procuring, the system tells you, sorry, I don't have any cost accounts, I cannot procure anything, I don't have a budget. So we stop educating civil servants without knowledge of the whole. Okay, a teaching concept. What we have today is the administrative sciences content, the theory of budgeting, how procurement should be, etc., how social services should be. Fine, that's what we already did today. But we need a system where everything is implemented, simply because when the civil servant leaves university, educational institution, he will end up at the workplace and maybe for the very first time in his life he sees a computer in context of public administration. So our students will build the structures of the budget, account structures, fund centers, etc., plan the costs, plan the expenditures, etc., do the whole planning, and then execute the budget, getting the revenues from the taxes, etc., doing the spendings in their own system, in their own city, and then a year-end closure. And giving them the final grades is quite easy. If the year-end closure fails, sorry, you haven't passed the class. Same thing, a two-stage negotiation procedure, because procurement of commodities is quite easy. But what is really tricky is, like example, we have heard it before, building a stadium. Then you have probably a two-stage negotiation procedure with a pre-qualification stage, etc., etc. You request some documents, and. And of course, as Professor Brosse mentioned, also ID authorization, etc., is a major question. How do I know that these folk from Ireland is really a vendor of copying paper? Maybe he's someone else. I don't know. I have to identify him. Why? Such systems in public administrations, ERP systems, enterprise resource planning systems are, after several decades now, common standard in the industry. Everything in one single system. Why? Because if you have one standard software and customize it, it's far cheaper than tailor-made software in the medium and long run. How big is the market, if it is a market, for voter registration software according to Croatian laws in Croatia? Such a market or such a market? Maybe the European market is bigger, and therefore, if you have standardized software, you are far cheaper. Locally, we have small states in Europe. Bigger states are the rare exemption. The size we have monopolies, we have oligopolies. You simply pay too much. An ERP system is fully auditable, and this makes a big difference. A tailor-made software is likely auditable, likely not. But those big ERP systems, they are made to make your profit and loss, etc. So they are fully auditable. So 40 years ago, I think that the founders of SAP were called insane simply because everyone said, hey, Deutsche Bank and Siemens, it's totally impossible to have one common accounting system for all together. It was my last slide anyway. It's impossible to have one accounting system for them, but it worked. And the company which did it has now an annual turnover of 11 billion euros. So why shouldn't it be possible to have one system, customized, but one system for the administration of Vienna, Edinburgh, Ljubljana, and Sarajevo. Why not? That's the question.